Great.
Okay,
Thank you so
that's great.
much. And thank you so much for including me in this program. I know that this is a critical area, not just for Europe, but for the world. And we at RISC-V International are so pleased to be invited and are excited to continue working on HPC as well as a plethora of other things. All right, so let's take a quick walk back in history. If you think back to the history of microprocessing, I know that this is very near and dear to many in this fold, but for those that just kind of need to think about why are we having processor discussions now? Haven't processors been already around forever? Well, the initial things that we saw in the 1980s have had been sort of a huge variety from Atari to Intel that were making their own processors. And the key thing in that time was that most of the utility you were looking for was able to be plugged into the wall for a constant supply of energy. And Intel really kind of won the battle of the processors when it came to desktops, when it came to servers. We started to see the next era of processing in the 1990s, and that was when we started to rely more on battery power. We needed smaller form factors. We needed continuous increasing processor capabilities with a smaller energy drive. And so that's when we really started to see some of the industry collaboration that is still around today with ARM. In the 2000s, we started to see even more mobile innovations, more form factors coming to bear, and a continued consolidation within the industry. Today, we are in the midst of a number of new revolutions across a number of different industries, and those are requiring custom processing. And custom processing is necessary because what you put in a smartwatch is different than what you put in an automobile, is different than what you want for a scale out HPC implementation. So today, we need something with low barriers to entry, fast and rapid development cycles. And those are the types of inclinations, along with the custom processing demand, that has really started to open up hardware and open up processing specifically. RISC-V is here with the advances in an open ISA for multiple avenues for collaboration and innovation. These are just a few of the areas that we're seeing most rapid growth. Most rapid growth is not necessarily coming from those areas where companies have entrenched and research institutions have entrenched long-standing investment. We're looking primarily at the new frontiers in IoT, AI, mobile and wireless implementations, and other areas like that in areas where we can have both a very small point of contact implementations for processing where the data is ingested, all the way up to large scale out clouds and other types of things that you might see in HPC. The first wave of that is coming in two flavors. One is around large organizations who are using RISC-V for microcontrollers and other aspects around their core processing, and two, from the large number of custom processing and custom implementations and innovations that are going on across many different industries. We have about 100 different members in our organization that are less than 500 employees. And those types of organizations are finding RISC-V to be the most profound way to enter a new market, to participate in an arena where previously the barriers to entry were just far too high. So these are some of the things that we're seeing today. When it comes to building a community, it's important to recognize there are many different types of stakeholders, many different types of interests, and each one of those is so essential. A foundation is not a transaction experience. It's about building a sound strategic future for a technology, and that's what RISC-V is really accomplishing. So you'll see many different participants Some of them are competitors, some of them are collaborators, some of them are supply chain partners, some are students, some are researchers. Across all of these interests, we have a shared and common goal of making RISC-V accessible, of ensuring its ongoing proliferation for the decades to come, and understanding the many different implementations that make a diverse and multifaceted strategic interest for many different stakeholders. Along with having many stakeholders in the community, there's an important benefit that everyone realizes. First, you are no longer locked into a small set of suppliers or partners for innovation, for producing your product. And on the other hand, you have a much broader global opportunity. Whether that opportunity is to leverage your innovations into adjacent spaces, adjacent industries or implementations, or to leverage your innovation in multiple geographies. That openness and that open collaboration brings the doors all the way open on both sides of that equation, both on what goes into the product and where that product may go. We see a lot of growth in this space. And Semico put out a research report, and I'm sure these slides will be made available for everyone. But Semico has put out a research report that really captures the growth that we're anticipating over the next 5 years. 5 years is not a long time in semiconductors. And across this time, we see a total of 62.4 billion RISC-V CPU cores by 2025. This will be led by the industrial sector. It'll be closely followed in communications and consumer. And we'll see other types of innovations across a variety of industries really start to take off. Let's take a quick walk around the world. So China has been a strong leader across both many different facets of computing, as well as and including HPC. In China, there are more than 200 organizations that have joined 2 local RISC-V associations, and we've had 2 more associations come up in the meantime. The importance of local collaboration is that they can work with different types of resources, different research initiatives, different academic initiatives. The 4 organizations there are focused on industry adoption, research and long-term proliferation, academia, and venture capital. These are many facets that benefit our entire community and specifically are spurring growth and adoption in China. In Europe, we see continued interest in leveraging RISC-V in the European Processor Initiative, as well across a variety of uses there, primarily focused in acceleration. We also see a lot of growth amongst our membership there. We've got a few dozen members in Europe today, and we've spanned from industry to academia already. In India, the Shakti project has really taken off. It's a few years old now, and they have been funding 6 different RISC-V processors and continue to proliferate RISC-V across their universities as well as across industry. So we're excited to continue to see the continued progress in India. Japan has seen a doubling of interest across the last couple of years in RISC-V. This is a picture from the Hitachi campus where we held our 2019 Tokyo Day. We saw 360 different, very invested, very thoughtful folks come to that. Most of our events have been highly technical. We have had many workshops and tutorials and shared learning experiences. And we're starting to now see talks that we're having on adoption, industry adoption. So we have very much turned the corner from research and academic project to industry adoption and proliferation across multiple different verticals. This started primarily in North America, where we have RISC-V across many different stakeholders and areas, from NVIDIA putting it in their GPUs to Western Digital and memory controllers. Sci-Fi is a very fast-growing global startup that has really started to participate in many different forums. And we're seeing a lot of traction continue to grow in North America, and is done so in counterpart with our global collaborators around the world. When I look at the growth that we're seeing around the world, it's primarily North America, China, and Europe. The other areas are coming along very quickly, but those three regions are definitely our thought leaders. But that doesn't leave out opportunity for new countries to the RISC-V revolution. Pakistan has really gained traction in this, and they last October had two events that drew more than 3,000 people to talk about RISC-V. They've declared it their national architecture, are putting up training centers, dedicated RISC-V training centers. This is an arena where you might think of it as leapfrogging technology or leapfrogging some learning, where we're seeing a lot of growth in learning, in academia, training for the next generation of processor development. So let's talk about RISC-V. So RISC-V International is it's a nonprofit foundation style. We are currently transitioned now to being a Europe-based organization. And we are, our mission is really to accelerate and proliferate not only the technology, but also the collaboration and opportunity across our membership. Our goal is to work on many different programs to support those aims, and we are well on our way. We are coming up on our 5th birthday in August, and the RISC-V architecture and project was started 10 years ago. So we have two birthdays, 10 and 5, to celebrate this year. Our membership is very diverse, from private sector to public, from individuals to large multinationals and around the world. This is just one snapshot of many of our members, and this continues to grow every day. In fact, we are now more than 550 members in 50 countries around the world. The distribution across our ecosystem categories here remains about the same, but that blue line you see in the background continues to represent the onward growth and trajectory curve that we saw in 2019, continuing well, since our inception in 2015, continuing in 2020. So we're very proud of that growth. We're very proud of the diversity and collaboration opportunities of our members. As I mentioned, it's first and foremost for RISC-V to support our members, to support that growth and that adoption. And so these are 6 of the programs that we support and build to accomplish that mission. Number 1 on that list is technical deliverables. We have a technical steering committee, as well as many subcommittees and work groups, around 25 of them, that are focused specifically on creating open, globally available resources to build on top of the open ISA. Because it's a small and compact ISA, it is designed for many different extensions, and those extensions are underway and aim to be open and freely available. Compliance and verification to that base ISA is very important, and we have a suite that we've developed there and are continuing to build out tests to support that as well. Visibility is all about ensuring constant attention on RISC-V, where it's being used, how it's being used, what resources and other tools are available. And then learning and talent is in 2 parts. We're both working with universities to bring RISC-V to the curriculum, as well as putting together a larger professional training and development program. Advocacy and outreach is very important. We want to make sure that we're connecting engineers to engineers. And this is where we've launched an ambassador program where we are helping to, provide speakers, provide technical experts in forums for technical discussions. And we've just announced our first 6 of ambassadors, and these are a great complement to the more than 25 meetup communities that we have around the world. So we really are kind of at a both local level and a global level at this on this. And then marketplace, it's not about drawing royalties or license fees. This is just about having one home for all things RISC-V, such that you're looking for something in RISC-V that you can find it easily. Today we have an area of cores and SoCs, as well as an area of software, tools, and other resources. And we have about 200 different listings there today on our website. Let's just take a quick look at some of these. So these are some of those 25 different work groups that we're focused on around those technical deliverables. I mentioned that we have a compliance suite. We just launched the first framework in December, and we are working on test suites to go along with this. These are all available on RISC-V.org, and you can get to the information there. In visibility, we have our online marketplace that I mentioned, where you can find many different aspects and things to complement your or satisfy your RISC-V needs, as well as we leverage a lot of online forums to connect our work groups and task groups, as well as keep you apprised of all the visibility that we're doing. Our events calendar has gone a bit virtual this year, but we continue to have a strong momentum at local and regional levels, as well as at our global level. In learning and talent, we currently have 2,400 individuals registered in more than 25 meetups around the world. It's really an engaged community. It's really a high energy, very technical group that has been participating in these meetups. They have tutorials and various talks on various subjects, and it's really been a great kind of piece to help us bring our community together, as well as to grow interest in RISC-V. And then our educational resources, we have about 30 different pieces of curriculum available on our website, and are engaging universities. Universities and other nonprofit type organizations or government research organizations can join RISC-V for free. And we have other options. Let me just go ahead and get to those options. So we have additional options available as well. So we have 3 categories of membership. Community membership on the far right is really geared for individuals, students, and academia and other nonprofit organizations to join for free. Strategic members, think of these as normal corporate membership. We have tiered pricing based on size of the organization, and then we have a top-level membership that provides more governance. These are changes that we had recently made to our organizational structure, such that we have strong governance across all of these categories for board representation, as well as earned seats on the technical steering committee, and can help folks who are interested in driving the organization have that leadership opportunity. So we're very excited about what we're doing in RISC-V. Invite you to join us in this revolution. We have many ways to engage, and we have many areas in which we can involve you. That's the end of my talk, and welcome if there's a question.
Thank you very much, Calista. Very interesting to see. If usually this view is obscured, if you don't look for it, you see Intel. There's a little less beyond that. I have one question. Yeah, you have a question from Frank. Can you see this in the chat box?
Let me just read it. What are your plans to enhance RISC-V visibility in the HPC community beyond this event in academia? Well, I was supposed to be in Europe 3 times this month, talking HPC, talking RISC-V. So unfortunately, the events are not all happening as originally planned. We are continuing to participate in events. We also have an HPC special interest group that is just getting off the ground. That's led by John Davis out of Barcelona. And so we continue to work that. We are continuing to work with universities and other research organizations and connecting the public-private sector. I believe strongly in the deep connections between public and private sector that can help us kind of progress state of the art quickly. And RISC-V is a perfect example that was, born in academia and has proliferated across areas. So we will continue to work with universities. ETH Zurich has been an amazing partner for us. We will continue to work across additional foundations and additional organizations that are focused on HPC. I would love to give talks at ISC and SC. I think those are very important communities. I've been, kind of participating either from RISC-V or in my past with Open Power in those forums. And I love the HPC community. I have to say, it's like going to a family reunion, and everyone knows everyone, and there's such a warm welcome to some of the newer folks and to some of the newer technologies and to seeing what we can do together. The spirit of collaboration is amazing. And so, yes, we absolutely would love to be more engaged across HPC initiatives and communities where folks see opportunity, where our voice might be welcome. Please do reach out to us.
Thank you very much, Calista. That was great. And we have to rush through. So thank you very much. And I hope there will be more communication and follow up from this talk.